Nearly every facility which keeps dolphins or killer whales has been involved in capturing them from the wild. It is difficult to understand the trauma involved, both to the individual dolphin or killer whale taken and to its extended family, without seeing firsthand just how these captures are conducted. The mainstay of nearly every captive facility are the bottlenose dolphins. Bottlenose societies are made up of family units called pods, which center on the mothers, their newborn, and other females. Gregarious by nature, herds of bottlenose frequent the shallow waters and estuaries of Florida and Mississippi, making them far easier to catch than other species. Jay Sweeney is a veterinarian who makes his living capturing, brokering, and selling dolphins to marine parks, hotels, and swim programs around the world, even to the military. This amateur video of Sweeney and his crew capturing bottlenose dolphins in Florida was provided anonymously and is being broadcast here for the first time.
Yeah, okay, babe. Check them out and see what size they are now.
Once a group of bottlenose dolphins is spotted in the shallows, the lead capture boat moves toward them, dropping one end of a net that floats at the surface with plastic corks and extends to the shallow bottom with lead weights. The dolphins could easily jump the net, but that doesn't often occur. The capture team knows this and exploits it. The dolphins are then physically overpowered as they frantically thrash and fight to escape. Rick O'Berry has observed many such captures.
It's a very violent procedure to capture a dolphin. That's the dirty little secret, and I've captured scores of dolphins. I can tell you firsthand, it's a very violent procedure.
Animals not chosen are routinely released back to sea with no follow-up to assure they survived the trauma. Those that are kept are hauled aboard the capture boat, still wrapped in the net.
He is aboard the boat. Oh, we go. Oh, okay, count. 1 inch apart.
They will never see their family or the ocean again. The situation for killer whales is little different, and has for decades involved to a great extent the largest, wealthiest, and most politically powerful of all marine parks, SeaWorld Incorporated. Washington's Secretary of State, Ralph Monroe, witnessed an early killer whale capture at Bud Inlet in March of 1976.
It was really quite by accident. Several of us were out sailing one day, and we came across a whale capture. And we weren't really sure what it was at first. We saw this huge flotilla of boats and so forth coming towards us, chasing these whales down into southern Puget Sound, using explosive devices dropped from the airplane and all kinds of tactics that weren't allowed in the permit that they'd been given. We watched as the whales made a run for it. By that time, the captors had netted off a big enough portion of this inlet that they were able to get them inside the purse seine. There was no question that there were mothers inside the net with babies outside, and it appeared to me that the captor stood there and lit these underwater explosive devices as fast as he could light them. It sounded like a war. There was just explosion after explosion after explosion. It was one of the most gruesome things I've ever seen. Consequently, we went to court and we really started to dig into who was behind all this. We found it was SeaWorld behind it. We reached settlement only after testimony began to come in about previous captures where lots of whales had died.
SeaWorld's history of capturing killer whales is lengthy and highly controversial. In a similar set 6 years earlier, Don Goldsberry caught 80 killer whales at Penn Cove, Washington, taking 7 for various parks. Several months after the set, 4 dead whales, including 3 calves, washed ashore, their bodies slit open and weighed down with steel chains. After months of denial, Goldsberry admitted the whales had died during the Penn Cove capture and that they had towed their bodies into the Sound and sunk them in the dead of night. SeaWorld pressed for an out-of-court settlement, granted only after they reluctantly agreed to end all captures from Washington state waters. Yet Don Goldsberry, the person most responsible for the death of at least 4 killer whales and multiple permit violations, became vice president of animal collections for SeaWorld.